Guy. Well, let's bring on our guy here. What's going on, Julian? How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing really well. Making this weight for Friday. It's coming off pretty easily, so I'm just resting right now.
That's excellent. So already on weight. Of course, you were fighting against Kelvin Dotel in New York this weekend on the Martinez Lomachenko undercard. Before we jump and get deep in talking about the fight, I have to be honest. When we were doing some research about you to prepare when we booked you for the show tonight, I knew you were a top-ranked fighter, but I had no idea you had such an extensive amateur background. 230 fights as an amateur. That is bonkers. During the course of that career, talk to us about some notable wins. Anybody we know that you might have defeated during those two? It's a lot of fights, 230 fights.
Yeah, I started competing when I was 8 years old, and actually some of the tournaments that I went to as when I was 8 years old, the youngest category was 9-10. So the first two tournaments I went to, I was too young for the tournaments, but we changed my birthday on the birth certificate so I could fight in the tournament. And it's crazy because some people would cheat and do the opposite. Like, they would say that they're younger so they could be in a younger category and their kid would be fighting younger kids or something like that, But in terms of people that I fought in the amateurs, let me see. Off the top of my head, I fought Gary Russell's little brother. I fought Kenneth Sims. I fought Gervonta Davis twice. I fought Dusty Harrison. Yeah.
How did that go with Gervonta, the next Floyd Mayweather?
I beat him twice.
What?
Yeah, he's a great fighter. You know what I mean? He's a friend of mine. But yeah, I beat him twice. I beat Kenneth Sims both times we fought. I beat Dusty Harrison 3 times, and he beat me 2 times. I don't know. We fought a lot of times, me and Dusty. But he was always tall and lanky, and that always frustrated me in the ring at that time. I fought E-Bunny, the Adrian Broner's friend. How was his name?
Robert Easter?
Yeah, Robert Easter. I fought Robert Easter in the Olympic trials, and I beat him in the semifinals. That's off the top of my head. There's a lot more, I'm sure, but I fought Gary Russell's little brother when I was, I believe, 9 years old.
I'm so glad that we booked you on the show today because we really did want to learn more about you. And, looking at your amateur career, wow, man, he had 230 fights. And I'm I know he has to have some notable wins. And you just said that you beat Gervonta Davis twice, Dusty Harrison, Robert Easter. These are all guys that are, pretty good prospects. They get a lot of buzz. They got a lot of talent. So that speaks a lot about where you're heading.
Yeah, and a lot of the fights are very entertaining, especially the first fight with me and Gervonta Davis was pretty entertaining. I just had a lot of experience. I always fought the best because I was always, when I fought in tournaments, if I didn't win that tournament, I would be in the finals, So I was always a top amateur. And I was for the 2012 Olympics, I was the alternate. It wasn't, a lot of people get it mistaken. They think it was Robert Easter, but I beat Robert Easter, and it was actually the reload tournament, which was the tournament they had after the trials for the people who didn't qualify. And my weight class was open because I think Jamel Herring didn't qualify, so that whole weight class was reopened. And that tournament, I fought a lot of people, and the semifinals, I beat Robert Easter. And then in the finals, I happened to lose. I lost a close decision. In my opinion, I thought I won the fight, but against Jamel Herring. But he's a great guy. So, I was actually the alternate, and I was supposed to go to London, and I was even in training camp with Jamel Herring, but I had injured my left elbow, and I had to leave that camp. So then they took the guy I beat, which was Robert Easter. But I'm sure they had a great time,
So out of that whole class and that whole group, you just named so many names. Are you still close with any of those guys?
I mean, in the amateurs, in this game in general, I tend to just, I don't really make friends like that unless like they're on my team. I was very quiet in the amateurs. And a lot of people kind of looked at our whole team and our whole squad differently because they thought we were being rude or something like that. But when we went to the tournaments, it was all business. There was no time to make new friends or whatever. So, I mean, I'm definitely friendly with everybody. I'm a nice guy. I'm friendly with Jamal Herring. I'm friendly with everybody. But as far as friends, I mean, in this business, it's hard to keep friends or even have friends. So I keep it on the low.
Speaking of keeping it on the low, I notice, I like to scan people's social media before they jump on the show. And I notice you don't get into too many of these Twitter beefs. We see a lot of some of the other guys. They have some Twitter fingers online, and they like to do a little jaw-jacking back and forth. But you don't seem to get involved in any of that. You just are you a sit back and observe guy, or are you just waiting for that day to pull the trigger?
I mean, I don't really get into it with the social media in general. I mean, I try to really protect my image as a fighter. A lot of athletes, I mean, athletes but mostly fighters, they don't really know how to have an image or portray a type of image, for themselves that'll help their career. And I was taught that at an early age. That's why I don't curse on my social media. I keep it very clean. I mean, if there is a time where it'll be beneficial for a fight to respond to somebody, I'm not trying to say like I would get into a Twitter beef just to hype up my fight, but if it's, my opponent getting a little too crazy, I might say something to let him know I'm not just, staying quiet, but it would definitely be in a respectful way, and it wouldn't be in a way that's a disgrace to the image I'm trying to portray or the sport of boxing. I believe this is a gentleman's sport, so that's the way I like to keep it.
That's story in the news. Go ahead, RB. You cut out a little bit.
Oh, I was saying, how old are you, Julian? That was really mature of you of what you just said.
21.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 21, but I've been around a lot of older guys, a lot of when I was around, like, just growing up in the sport of boxing, I was always training with world champions and training with guys who've been in the sport for 30 years, and just like that, I've been around a lot of people with experience, so they really paved the way for me to be who I am today and have the intelligence in and outside of the ring about the sport of boxing too.
Well, we're going to put together a little workshop for you to educate your peers who are in your age group in the industry of how to conduct themselves on social media when they're out so they can stay out of trouble. So can we sign you up now to teach a seminar? What
was that?
Can we sign you up to teach a seminar? Can you get out and teach the
I'm
guys how to
available.
stay out of trouble? All right, cool.
Always. They could just look at my Instagram and Twitter at Team Hammerhands. That's what they could do. Watch and learn.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about your Instagram in a little bit. But before we even get to your Instagram, because that's when we'll have a little bit of I want to talk to you about landing at Top Rank. So you're 12-0. How early in your career did you sign with Top Rank? Like, were you in
Yeah, they signed me right out of the amateurs. I was I fought in the Olympic trials or the reload tournament or whatever, the Olympic qualifier. And then after that, I went on to win the National Golden Glove, in the men's league or whatever. And then that's when we started to announce that we were ready to turn pro. We weren't really too fond of the amateur scoring system, and we felt like the best fighters' tournaments weren't winning. So that's when I was like, you know what, this amateur boxing isn't for me. And plus, I've always acquired a pro type of style. Ever since I was around 12 years old, I started sparring pros. So I was more of a sit down and really connect with my punches and use smart punches as opposed to like the pity pat scoring punches. So I believe later in my amateur career, Top Rank really, I caught Top Rank's eye with that style, and they're really fond of that style too.
That's great. Was there ever any other promotional companies that were seeking you? Like, was Golden Boy approaching you or anybody else at the time?
Yeah, but the thing is, my team was really solely set on Top Rank, so they, my dad and my management was handling that, and then they were just like, okay, well, Top Rank, they called and we're gonna have a meeting with them in Las Vegas, and that's what they did. They flew us out.
Nice. Talking about your dad, I think you're Alex, right?
Yeah.
So he's so cool, but I have to ask you, what is your nationality? Because I don't know if you're Dominican or you're Colombian. What are you?
Well, I mean, I'm an American boy, so, but in terms of, like, my ancestors and stuff like that, I'm a lot of different type of Spanish, but my mom is Cuban and Irish, and my father is Colombian and Dominican, so.
Man, you're a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You can't even hold a flag up. You would have, like, 10 flags in there.
Yeah, I mean, but I really try to push the, I'm from American, and so are both of my parents, I'm from America, and they were both born here, but, that's why I always represent USA in pretty much everything I do. I mean, I'm not knocking where I'm from, but, like, I just, I'm from America, so, I push that.
Yeah, you'd be like Don King in there with all them flags. So, look, your fan base is growing. I was actually at your last fight at the Garden. It was like a war. You were in a little mini war. You showed a lot of heart, a lot of will, a lot of skills. And I know that you sparred with some pretty notable fighters like Pacquiao, Ruslan Provodnikov. I think you just left Felix Verdejo's camp. Yeah. Am I missing anyone else?
I mean, a lot of fighters from New Jersey, too. I mean, I sparred Kendall Holt previously. I sparred, who's another person that you guys might know? What's that southpaw from Philly? I don't know how I forgot his name.
Carl Dargan?
No. That he's calling out Gervonta Davis. Tevin. He's a good friend of mine too.
Yeah.
Tevin Farmer. I sparred with him before. We get the best work over here on the East Coast. I mean.
Yeah.
Let me see, Kendall. I sparred a lot of champions. When I was 12 years old, I was sparring Carlos Tamara, who was the IBF 108 champion, and we were around the same weight when I was 12. So that he really taught me a lot. My other trainer, Butch Sanchez, trains him.
So out of all these sparring partners, Pacquiao, Verdejo, Provodnikov, who hit the hardest? Tell us. We won't tell anybody. Who gave you the best work?
Who gave me the best work?
Where you were like, yeah, he could throw. He hits hard.
I mean, honestly, I've held my own I did great in in everybody, but I mean, specifically who had heavy hand. I mean, the thing with Manny Pacquiao is he's like naturally heavy-handed. He doesn't try to when I was sparring him, he wasn't like trying to hit me hard or trying to knock me out or whatever. He just, when he would use his hand speed, his hands would just be heavy. So, of course you get hit with a punch you don't see or with a good shot, and I could definitely imagine why he was knocking these guys out with that left hand. But as far as Provodnikov, he could punch, but he was mainly like physically strong. He was pushing me around, which I was boxing him and stuff like that, but he was like body strong.
Right. How many times did you fight last year? I think that you were pretty active, and we see today in boxing that some fighters fight like twice a year, but they got you pretty much rolling.
Yeah, I mean, well, my first year I fought a couple of times. I'm not sure how many it was, and even then I was supposed to fight 2 more times, but they fell through. One of them I got sick for, and the other one I think the opponent dropped. But what happened last year was I had a little surgery on my labrum on my left shoulder, so that kind of held me up. I actually fought like way too soon after the surgery, and I didn't really look my best. But my last fight was my second fight from the surgery. So, and right now it's actually been a year since the surgery. So my arm is pretty much healed, and I'll be ready to throw it with some heat on Saturday.
That's right. Well, now that we have covered the particulars of your fight, we want to have a little bit of fun with you. Like I said, I've been stalking your social media for about the last 48 hours, just trying to get, a glimpse of who you are. And what I noticed from your social media is that you are quite the singer. So we were wondering if we could play a little game with you called Sing the Ruckus. Are you down?
All right. I mean, I'm down to play.
All
right.
Yes.
So see, I love it. That's why we love this show, because everybody likes to cooperate and do fun things.
Wait. Time out. Wait.
No.
The singer? Oh,
yes.
no, I can't.
You already agreed. Sorry.
You already said yes.
No, I didn't know what you guys said. I didn't know what you said, and then it caught on to me. I can't sing, My vocal cords are dry right now. I'm making weight,
get out of here.
I could sing after my fight, but or after my weigh-in or something.
We don't expect you to blow all crazy. We got a couple songs. We just wanted to see if you knew the song.
I can't. They always. I gotta stop telling people I sing, because in every interview they always try to make me sing.
We'll see.
Well,
okay. Well, here.
Take it off your Instagram.
Right.
Oh, that's
feel
only
it out.
for Instagram. I can't. It's late. My little guy's sleeping. I can't.
All right. Well, tell us about your little guy. We know you have a very, very young guy. Two? Is he 2 or 3?
He's 3. His name is Jaden.
Little Jaden. Little Jaden. Does Jaden understand what Dad does for a living? Does he go in the gym with you?
Of course. He throws a better right hand than I do already.
Really?
And he follows me to the gym every day. He always if he sees me warming up or stretching, he tries to imitate me. He does everything. He's a little me. He's a mini me.
Throwing the right hand, did you teach him, or did he just come out of the womb just swinging? When did you first notice that he could throw the right hand?
He just does what I do. I mean, if I'm in the mirror trying to punch or whatever, he'll sit there and try to throw the same punches, and I'll help him out with little things here and there, but I'm not really pushing it on him. He's only 3 years old. I just give him little tips here and there, fix your feet or things like that. But he goes to my fights and everything. He knows what it is.
All right.
Well, yeah, that is so cool. Well, too bad you couldn't sing with us tonight, but we will get you another time. So, Julian Rodriguez, you're fighting Kelvin Dotel this Saturday at the Madison Square Garden. People can watch Julian fight on TopRank.tv. It's an 8-rounder, super lightweight bout at the Garden. And, hey, while we were talking to you, Julian, I got a text message from one of our sponsors here at the Ruckus from War Tape. And they're listening to the show, and they're like, wow, that Julian kid, he's such a class act. He's such a classy kid. Tell him that we want to send him War Tape. So when we get off,
awesome.
I'm going to get your information, and they want you to be a part of the War Tape family after hearing your interview tonight.
Oh, that's so awesome, man. Tell him I said thank you, and I'm looking forward to connecting with them.
All right, we'll connect with you. Listen, good luck. Me and Jay, we hit New York tomorrow, so we'll see you at the weigh-in. We'll be there ringside, and we'll try. Yeah, we'll have our mic, so after the fight, you can sing for us. All right, then. Julian Rodriguez, good luck. All the best. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Have a good night.
All right.
Have
a good night.